Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. So it spirit literally just told me just now, like, tell someone the only opinion that matters is their own. And I'm what I normally do is when spirit will give me something, I'll sit for a minute or two and ask spirit, like, can I get some kind of details on how to go into this? Because I can just say what you give me, and I kind of need to know where to go. And it spirit just said no. Spirit literally just told me, I'll give you what to say when you start saying it. So this is what we're doing. Um, the only opinion that matters is your own. Um, it's okay to take what people say into consideration, but at the end of the day, it is your opinion and your attitude about yourself that determines how you're going to move, how you're going to be, and the decisions that you make. If you're moving along this journey, no matter where you are in this journey, there's always going to be people, even not in this journey, there's always going to be people that's going to tell you what they think of you, how they think you should be, things that they think that you should have. And when I say take what people say, if it matters to you, if the people matter to you, into consideration, means think about what they're telling you and ask yourself, is this something that you really truly need to apply or need to be doing in your life? Is this something that could help you along your way? Because like I said, there, the universe is going to give you people to give you messages and information along your journey. It's just the point of, are you listening? Because we've all missed messages, but we all get them. I'll say that again. We've all missed messages, but we all get them. So if you're telling yourself negative stuff throughout the day, I'm sure you're running across somebody that's telling you in some way, shape, form, or fashion of how wonderful you are. You're a great listener. I like how your hair looks today. Your haircut is fly as hell. Yo, your kicks are, hey, where you getting them shoes from, bruh? Somebody's telling you something positive that's going to, somebody is telling you something positive that's going against what you're thinking about yourself. So what you need to do is take that into consideration. My phone started ringing a second ago. Hold on, let me text my boo, tell him I'm recording. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's always something to take into consideration. Now, when you take something into consideration, you're thinking about, first of all, who's giving you this statement, especially if it's coming from a stranger just out of nowhere, and asking yourself, is any part of what they're saying true? It doesn't have to be the whole statement is a whole statement. See, and that's what, oh, okay, Spirit, I'm getting it. That's what Spirit, part of what Spirit is wanting me to convey to you. The message that you receive may not be in the whole sentence. It's like riding down the street and you see a billboard. There's something on your mind, and then you look up and you see a billboard that's in direct relation of what you're talking to, even though the billboard is there all the time. It's moments like that the Spirit is giving you messages. So what you're doing when you're taking into consideration is you're asking the universe, is this my message? Is this for me? Because right now, with what you're going through and what you're doing, that may not be for you, even though 2 or 3 years later, that same sentence may be for you. But Spirit needed you to hear that, to be able to pull from that, and to be able to have that in your subconscious, so you know that this is something that you're going to be revisiting later, because along your road, you're going to have to revisit it later. Because what you think about yourself as you're moving along your journey is going to change. And it should change for the absolute better, because that's what you're wanting. You're wanting the best for yourself. You want levels to yourself that you don't even know that you can achieve. So the only opinion that matters about you in this mortal world is your own. What are you telling yourself? What attitude do you have? What are you consistent in doing? What kind of frequency are you setting for yourself every day? Are you sustaining this frequency? Are you facing everything and rising? See how I'm putting everything together? There's so many levels in each stage, and each time it's the power of repetition. What do you tell yourself? Whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not. It's an opinion of yourself. The universe doesn't know that it's not the right opinion. It's not the opinion you believe of yourself, but you've opened your mouth and you said that that's an opinion of yourself. That's what the universe picks up on. Because words are a frequency. Your thoughts are a frequency too. Don't get me wrong. The universe picks up on the negative frequency too, but the universe also picks up on the frequency of you. So if you're moving along this journey and you're determined to grow, you're determined to make things better, and even though you may say or do something negative, and it may not be on purpose, the universe is seeing the positive that you're saying or doing to counteract that. Because although we're all still moving on this journey, that doesn't mean we've all at some point in time tripped. And that's okay. But your opinion of yourself is what matters the most. Just because you've taken something into consideration that somebody else tells you, that doesn't make it valid and true for you. That means it's something for you to think about. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily something that you have to abide by or put all your attention in. When you consider it, you sit down with spirit, you sit down with the universe, and you're asking yourself, is this for me? Is this something that's applying to me and right now and where I'm at, where I'm moving? It's all about your attitude. You have to be willing and committed to making yourself grow. And like I said, growth hurts. Growing pains. Growth hurts. So what attitude are you going to keep about yourself? Are you going to keep an open attitude about the things that are coming and changing in your life, even though it may seem like you're getting adverse reactions to things that you are doing? Are you keeping a positive attitude telling you that, hey, I'm not with the negative shit. I'm doing something better. Even though this is something that may have bothered you, are you not moving in the same way? Or are you moving in the same way that as soon as something that used to trigger you before that should not, it still triggers you in some way? These are things that subconsciously and unconsciously, with whether you know it or not, these are things that you are telling yourself. When you keep a negative attitude, you're telling yourself that you're a negative person and everybody else's opinion of you matters in some way, shape, form or fashion. And you're choosing to keep this negative outlook on the day, on yourself, on your job, on your whatever. Nothing can ever go right for you. That is your opinion of yourself. You said this, you think this. No wonder things are coming in your life to back this up. When your thoughts and your words coincide, the universe is going to make sure that that's what comes to you. And if it's negative, that's what the universe is going to make sure comes to you. And in the midst of that coming to you, the universe is going to make sure in this there are lessons that you need to learn to change your attitude, to change the thoughts about yourself. It's all a matter of, are you paying attention? Are you? Nothing is by coincidence. So if the same thing keeps giving you a negative attitude and just your opinion of yourself is that you keep fucking up every day, you're not learning the lesson the Spirit keeps giving you. That's why you keep getting the same situations. That's why you keep meeting the same people. That's why you keep having the same thing happen to you, but in small, different ways. You have to decide and have to stand in the fact that that's not where you're going. Even though you may feel like that, say something to contradict that. Because that's what's out in the universe. Write something that contradicts that. Because when you write your words down on paper, they do something very powerful in the universe. And that's not my lesson to teach right now. But it does something. Whether you believe it or not, you're writing your intention, you're writing what you want, you're writing the fact that you don't like that you feel a certain way about a situation. The universe and Spirit sees that. And the universe and Spirit is going to want the positive out of two conflicting thoughts to happen for you. But you have to provide one of those positive thoughts. The universe can only give you situations where you can learn, change your thoughts, change your actions, but it's up to you to recognize these situations, to recognize these things, sometimes so small. Like my mentor Vicky says, it's the small, imperceptible things. You have to be willing and you have to be willing and committed to the growth within yourself to know that your opinion is the opinion that matters the most. And even if you're like, it's what I say, it's what I say. That's something different than it's what I say to myself. That's something totally different. And it isn't everybody else's business what you say to yourself. It's what you're saying to yourself that matters the most. What you're saying to yourself in the darkness of your subconscious and unconscious mind. What you're saying out loud in the darkness of the universe. Even though you may be outside in the sun, it's what you're saying that's going to the darkness of the universe that's planting the seed, and that's what matters the most. And whenever you plant a seed, you have to water it. You have to make sure that it's going to grow into what you want, unless you want that seed to die. You don't have to plant a whole field of seeds, but you at least need to start with one to make sure that you can have something grow. Start with that opinion of yourself. Because you'd be surprised that the opinion that you tell yourself, what's done in the dark comes to light. That opinion all of a sudden starts radiating all around you. All of a sudden, that's what happens all around you. You'll see people start leaving your space and your place. And then you'll start seeing new people start coming around and being introduced to different situations, all because you've changed the opinion of what you think of yourself. It's a reverberation. It's an energy. It's a frequency. It's your aura. It's your light. It's your vibration. Whatever you want to call it. It's what's coming off of you that brings you what's coming to you. And even though what comes your way may be bad, may be negative, understand, like I said, nothing is ever coincidence or happens for a reason. And there's always lessons in everything, even the joyous things, even the best of things. You get messages. Spirit, I give thanks. Each part, each thing, everything, each crossroad along this journey has a point. It has a purpose. It has a lesson. The journey never stops. Once you've decided to walk this road, the journey only stops when you do. When you decide that you've reached the pinnacle of everything and you're just going to be stagnant in what you're doing, that's when the journey stops. Sometimes if you've ever, and it doesn't matter at what level this is, and I can say this wholeheartedly because where I used to live in North Carolina, there was a corner store, an Exxon station up from where we lived on the Habitat, right? On Fuller's Way. And I would walk up there, me and my brother would walk up there, some of us kids from the neighborhood, we would walk up there to the store. And we would get what we need and walk back. But it wasn't like, oh, we're talking about the country now. We're talking about the country. It was 2 lanes. You were either going or you were coming. You know what I'm saying? It was just 2 lanes on the street. And it wasn't like the store was like a 5-minute walk. Mind you, there's no sidewalks, but it was about the journey getting there that made it something. It wasn't, I'm just going to the store to get whatever. Because there would be times when I'm just going to the store to get this. Look, I'm going to age myself. I'm not going to the store to get this 15-cent blow pop. I'm going to the store to get out the house, get some fresh air, and I know it's this walk going up here. It's gonna be something. It may be at the house right by the Exxon station between the Exxon station. Well, there was the Exxon station, a small little storage unit, and then there was a house right there. The house right there had a dog. They had dogs. Even though the dogs were in a fence, it was on the other side of the street. It was like, is the dog going to be there today? And if the dog was there, it was an adrenaline rush. We knew the dog was never going to get out the fence. But it was the anticipation. It was about the journey going up there, especially going up there with people in the neighborhood. The family, my cousins would come and visit, and we would go to the store. It's like 8 of us just walking to the store because 1 or 2 people want a bag of Skittles or some shit. You see what I'm saying? It's about the journey and who was along with the journey. So it's just a story that you can just have forever. We ran from a dog. There was like 6, 8 of us. We ran from a dog on the other side of the road that was in a fence. But it was an invisible fence at the time. We didn't know. Was that? Either way, we ran from a dog that wasn't going to cross the street. We had the time of our lives. I learned something then that I didn't even realize that I was learning until later on in life. And that helped in how I saw myself, knowing that family was there for me. Just little things that happen along your way. Spirit will give you little things that help you change or help you give situations or give you lessons to learn. Because it's all about the frequency you put out in the universe. I was in my teens when this happened. But it was about the journey, not going to the store, not getting back to the house. It was about the journey that made it worth something. And that's what Spirit said, that is important, and that is what you need to know. There should never be a set destination along your journey. Just goals for you to reach, things for you to aspire to. And even when you think that you've reached the whole reason why you went on your journey, if you've done everything right with your shadow work, with your journaling, you'll realize that that's not even the end for you. You've reached a platform where you can keep going to be more than you even initially thought you could be. Because you started telling yourself different things along your journey that put out a different frequency in the universe that came back to you as your purpose, that came back to you as ways to help people, that came back to you as ways to advance yourself, that came back to you in ways to just inspire you. That's why the only opinion that matters is it's what you tell yourself. What you tell yourself. See, this is why Spirit, okay. This is why it's important that you keep your attitude right. Because when your attitude is right, what you tell yourself, your attitude and what you tell yourself is linked. And what I say, your attitude determines your altitude. Thank you, Spirit. Keep that in mind. What are you telling yourself? Because it's the opinion of yourself that matters the most. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit said I am done for the day. I got a cool little high five. I appreciate it. That was the message for the day. Keep your attitude right. What are you telling yourself? That's what the universe wants to hear. So make sure you're telling yourself some good shit. It doesn't matter if you believe it. Just make it some good shit that you want. And as long as it's right and good, Spirit will make sure that you get it. But understand, if it's negative and it's bad, and Spirit does make that happen, understand that the consequence that comes back to you is 1,000-fold. Karma. So what are you telling yourself? What's your attitude? I love it, Spirit. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for listening today. Like this, share this, give this a thumbs up, because Spirit didn't give me this message for nothing. So if this doesn't resonate with you, I promise it's because you heard this and you know somebody who this is going to resonate with. So go ahead and do that. And shout out to the person in Senegal who's listening to me on, I don't even know what platform you're listening to me on, but I just saw that you were listening. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Even I'm doing this new, I'm small and I'm growing, and that means I'm touching somebody somewhere, and that means you're changing the world too. So shout out to you. Shout out to everybody sharing this, listening. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. I give you thanks. Family, I love you. Be easy in this day. Peace.